Joseph Joestar, the grandson of Jonathan Joestar, actually peeked on his own mother while she was taking a bath and uttered the most indecent of words. Nice! Yeah, part 2 was more like JOJO's incestual adventure. A lot of interesting things happened since the last time. Speedwagon is now a business tycoon and a walking credit card for the Joestars, and owns the legendary Speedwagon Foundation that furthers science and medicine. And that's all we'll ever know about it. They also found 3 male strippers that are a threat to humanity. Joseph now lives in America, and 2 minutes into the episode, they showed us Coca-Cola and a fat white cop bullying a black kid. Classic America. Joseph saves the kid by engaging in a masculine fight where the cop fingers him, because one is not truly a JOJO unless fingered by another man. JOJO asserts dominance by more fingering and chugs a whole bottle of Coca-Cola in front of them. The thing about Joseph is that his observation haki is always on point. He analyzes his opponent's patterns and easily predicts their next move. He could have saved the one guy one jar had he been there. Remember Straizo? He wanted to be gay, except he couldn't, obviously, because his name is Straizo. So later on in life, he had some identity issues and was like, fuck it, I'ma be a vampire. So he kills everybody and puts on a mask to achieve his goals. Much like all of us. Meanwhile, Joseph and Smokey were having highly intellectual conversations about boobs when suddenly Joseph notices Straizo staring at him with those sexy eyes until eventually facing off with him. Joseph takes out a machine gun out of thin air and drills him with hundreds of bullets. Classic America. But this was probably not the way Straizo wanted to be drilled, so he gets mad. But Joseph, being the trickster he is, blows him up with grenades. You son of a... At this point, Joseph is a true gamer. He crashes planes, hijacks cars, shoots and nades people as well. So, when he saw Straizo survive the blast and start regenerating, he does the most gamer thing ever. Says the N-word and leaves the chat. However, Straizo takes a hostage on a bridge and JOJO is inclined to save her, but he doesn't give a fuck until he saw Straizo's finger game, after which he got fired up and engaged in a very masculine battle, after which we end up with 2 shirtless dudes holding hands on a bridge. And Straizo is like, I can't be with you. What? Why? Go find the stone guys. The stone who? Get stoned on these nuts. Turns out Speedwagon is alive and under the custody of the Nazis, Major Stronheim particularly, who thinks that the German technology is the best, but I didn't see no sex robot, so I highly doubt it. The Nazis drug him to get some information out of him, so for the time being, he is not Speedwagon, he is Weedwagon. Joseph is outside their base and thinks of the most logical plan for a 6-foot-tall, buffed-up man to infiltrate, disguising as a woman. And let me tell you, he does it immaculately. If you are not attracted to this peak feminine body, just get out of the closet. Unless your name is Straizo, then you gotta take the vampire route. In spite of the perfect disguise, he was caught in 4K by the guards. So, in the most ladylike manner, he beats the shit out of them and steals one of their guards' uniform. I don't know why the other one is naked. I guess Joseph is truly a method actor. Meanwhile, the Germans were doing very academic experiments with a pillarman. But the pillarman is a little shy. He's an introvert, so he hides away into things like the ventilation system or a German soldier's nose. When Joseph arrives to rescue Speedwagon, he thinks that Santana is not evil by nature. So he hugs him and makes peace with the pillarman. Just kidding, the pillarman was just casually absorbing him, just like how I absorb a cheeseburger at 2 in the morning. While fighting, JOJO is helped by none other than Major Stronheim, a soldier with a great resolve, perhaps a real man with big balls. After defeating Santana, they go to Italy and meet Cesar Zappelli, the grandson of Will A. Zappelli, the same guy that put salt directly on top of his sandwich, and as a punishment, his grandson was named after a salad. His specialty is that he is Italian, blows bubbles, and doesn't eat salad because that would be cannibalism. Meanwhile, at the German base, one of the pillarmen opens his glory hole and the soldiers were horny, so they went for it. Sadly, the Pillarman did most of the penetrating. He then flamboyantly gets out of his mold and observes the current political and economic state of the world and decides that there needs to be more love. So he joins everybody's hands to promote harmony. Such a nice guy. Then he wakes up the other two Pillarmen from 2000 years of slumber, and the first thing they do is strike a glamorous pose. They say girls act weak around the guys they like. Girls around me. Also, there is a deep meaning behind their poses. I am a chivalrous warrior. I am a cool-headed genius. Follow my OnlyFans. JOJO and the gang were on their way to the German base. Oh, by the way, he is Caesar's friend, Mark. Remember him, it's important for the plot. When JOJO reaches the site, they see three strong Pillarmen. The servant Vamu and the two masters. One, ABCD. He is a little dyslexic, so he calls himself ACDC. Don't mind him. And second, the genius Cars, who was the original Chainsaw Man. Humans even named a mode of transport after him. While walking, Vamu bumped into Mark, which killed him. A good friend to Caesar and a dutiful soldier who had a fiancée waiting at home. Damn, Mark isn't half the man he used to be. Now Caesar is mad because they did something horrible. They laughed after hearing his name. Stop! He tried to attack Vamu but got fingered and thrown away instead because nobody takes a guy that blows bubbles seriously. The Pillarmen were leaving until JOJO stopped Vamu and told him that even he has the balls to fight him. Quite literally. It does not end well for JOJO and is about to be killed. However, he uses talk no jutsu on Vamu and asks for some time to train. And Vamu is a chivalrous warrior who does not back out of a fight. So, he gently puts a poison ring around JOJO's arteries, which will kill him in 30 days. And the only antidote is in Vamu's lip piercing, which he can get only after defeating him. It's not gay, guys. It's just a man giving a ring to another man until death do them apart. And ABCD is so dyslexic, he even read the situation wrong and thought that he was the one supposed to fight Joseph, giving him a poison ring as well. Joseph got 30 days until his fight with Vamu or he dies. So, in order to get stronger, Caesar and JOJO go to a Hamon master named Lisa. One Lisa in her name should have been enough, but she's not like other girls, thus Lisa. Bear in mind, she's a very beautiful and attractive woman. Maybe not as attractive as Tequila Joseph, but she's a formidable fighter who uses 4000 years old technique of Hamon to play party tricks. She's kinky as fuck and puts some BDSM shit on Joseph and asks them to climb an oily pillar. Caesar, being a salad, was light as fuck and easily did it. But what about JOJO? You would think that it would be impossible for a rookie like him. No, JOJO is a true gamer and he had played the amazing Spider-Man, so no problems there. They trained for 30 days and the final challenge was to defeat his teacher. However, when JOJO arrived at the scene, he was already killed by ABCD. And he was like, "Me teacher, you're killed." To which JOJO gets angry and starts fighting. And this is not a normal fight of strength. It's a contest of wits. It's all about who is more tactful. Or at least it was, until it turned into a tentacle hentai. Joseph was backed into a corner. So he did something that is considered a dyslexic person's worst nightmare. Taking advantage of the situation, JOJO kills ABCD and as a reward gets to swallow his slimy fluid. That's one Pillarman down. Oh, just a side note, Major Stronheim is alive and to prove that the German technology is the best, becomes a sex robot himself. Their design is very human. Now, everybody goes to Switzerland and spots the Pillarmen's hideout and they were supposed to wait for their next move, but Caesar had some daddy issues, so he went ahead. He then fights Vamu outside the castle. Oh geez, he closed the door. I wonder how anyone will enter. Caesar goes inside and starts fighting to avenge his father. The thing about Caesar is that since he was a kid, he always wanted to look shredded. So Vamu did just that. He shredded him. And while all of this was happening, JOJO and Lisa were just outside the door, loitering around. Lisa sensei! Yes, JOJO. It seems the floor is made out of floor. Oh my god, you are correct. We gotta move with utmost caution. Lisa sensei. Yes, JOJO. It seems that the snow is white. Oh my god, you are correct. We gotta move with utmost caution. After waiting long enough for Caesar to die, they enter the castle, and when they look down, they see olive oil flowing beneath a rock, and that's when they realize that it's the body of Caesar! Then they go to the Pillarman's room, where Kars was waiting for a whole day just to show off his RGB throne, after which they agree on one-on-one battles, and the overall winner gets the Stone of Asia. It's basically a stone that helps the Pillarmen conquer the sun, because nobody introduced them to sunscreen. The sexual tension between JoJo and Wamu was off the roof. And the fight begins. They hopped on horse-driven chariots and were moving very fast. You could say they were riding speed wagons. While fighting, Wamu casually gets out of the horse and uses wind attack on JoJo, but JoJo cuts his arm just before the impact, and Wamu is devastated and looks like he's waiting for a cum shot to his face. JoJo is a true gamer. He doesn't just physically damage him, he is toxic enough to mentally fuck him up. So previously, not only did he cut his arm, he also showed him 2 girls 1 cup. After which Wamu does something totally understandable.
He poked out his eyes!
Wamu uses his final attack, and as a last resort, JoJo throws a bottle of olive oil at him, which he cuts in half, killing Caesar for a second time now. It was a fight between JoJo and Wamu, but physics lost. All in all, Wamu tasted defeat and died a very noble and chivalrous death. It was indeed a heartwarming fight. Now it's 2 Pillarmen down, and the only one remaining was Kars, who will now fight Lisa 1v1 fair and square. And Lisa is a significant and strong female character, right? Nah, the best they could do was a guitar.
Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down.
And then he starts playing Hangman with her. Oh, and did I mention that the Speedwagon Foundation and the Nazis are here? Because of course they are. Kars is that creepy uncle at family gatherings. JoJo had enough of his RGB bullshit and gave him the plot armor punch, and Kars fell off. Where the German soldiers were ready to fire their spirit bomb UV light, but suddenly they realized that Kars is already wearing the stone mask with the Stone of Asia on it. Now everybody is shit scared of him because he hardly wore any clothes and was probably hiding the mask up his ass. And you don't mess with a person that can put a foot-long mask up his ass. Now Kars is transforming, and in the process reaches an eye-opening realization that JoJo is the only anime where even the villains get plot armor. And now is the moment humanity witnessed the ultimate being, an immortal creature that has now conquered the sun, and got excited enough to show us his panties. JoJo uses the art of running away, but Kars turns into a bird and starts chasing him, and at this moment humanity finally got flying cars. JoJo took a plane and crashed Kars into a volcano. But Kars had a little plot armor left, so he comes back and cuts JoJo's arm and uses Harmon on him, which goes directly into the volcano, leading it to erupt.
It erupts!
And now both of them are pushed into the sky, where suddenly JoJo's cut off hand flies into Kars, fingering him, and Kars is bamboozled by the situation and is like, did you plan it all? How did you do it? I followed something Straizo told me about the stone guys. Straizo who gets stoned on these nuts?
カーズは二度と地球へは戻れなかった。
Joseph is now dead, and everybody is mourning at his funeral. But let's not forget that he has the Joestar blood running through him, which is rich in iron, minerals, and plot armor. A whole lot of plot armor.
JoJo!
Oh, you're telling me JoJo's alive?
He is now married to Suzuki, whose hip movement got better after taking some tips from the Pillarmen.
JoJo.
リサリサ、エリザベス・ジョースターはこの後共にアメリカへ移住。
This right here is the face of a man that has stopped thinking. We also witnessed the biggest loss of the 20th century. It's the death of Robert E.O. Speedwagon. but he will always live in our hearts as the best waifu. Then skip to 1987, where Joseph is now old, and you know what they say, with great age comes great racism.
ちょっと待って。あんた日本人か。
ああ、そうだけど。
あら、話は別だ。許さん。大切な娘を日本人め。
I also have a part 1 video and a Twitter account with 1 follower. Subscribe to grow the community, and as always, thanks for watching.